Joining us now is Montana Congressman Matt Rosendale. Congressman, thank you so much for taking time to be with us tonight.
Thanks, Jen. Good to see you. Mercedes, good to see you again.
You too. Well, you know, we have record inflation. We've got a supply chain crisis that's now affecting America's baby formula. Yet here you have Biden bragging about this temporary drop in gas prices, which is absolutely nothing. I mean, just yesterday, we saw the national average for a gallon of regular gas at another record high. I mean, it's like Biden and the Democrats are living on a completely different planet from everyday Americans. What do you propose, Congressman, should be done to provide hardworking Americans with a little bit of relief?
Jen, we actually do have a plan. The Republicans on the Natural Resources Committee introduced a package of 6 bills to make sure that we can get our domestic production ramped back up again. This is a problem. The price of crude oil is based on the global consumption and the global production, and our domestic production has gone down by 2 million barrels a day because of the declining rate of return from the wells that are in production now. And the Biden administration shut down all of leasing on public lands when they took office, and they have been slow walking any of the permits for any new drilling to take place. They have shut down the ability to permit the pipelines to get these products to the refineries, and now we're seeing the causes of that. Gasoline, as you said, is about $4.40 a gallon. This time, before he took office, it was about $2.98 a gallon. Diesel fuel is now well over $5, $5.50 a gallon. And it was down at $4.40. In a state like Montana, a large rural state, this is dramatically hurting people. They are starting to have problems to match that grocery bill. And then when they do get to the grocery store, they find that the bags aren't getting as full as they used to when they spend $100. I mean, this is becoming problematic.
Yeah, and it's so stressful, Congressman. But of course, what do the Democrats, what do they know how to do? They just criticize Republicans, right? We saw Biden yesterday attacking Republicans, and he said the GOP does not have a plan to solve the record high inflation that, of course, he's leading right now at this point. Take a listen to this.
Now, what's the congressional Republican plan? They don't want to solve inflation by lowering your costs. They want to solve it by raising your taxes and lowering your income. Their plan has actually made working families, going to make working families poorer.
Last time I checked, Congressman, it was the... Yeah, last time I checked, the Trump economy was very prosperous and uplifted the working American families. Your thoughts?
It did. It lifted more people out of poverty than any economy that we have ever seen. When the Trump administration first went in, we started setting these benchmarks, and we saw every single demographic that was lifted out of poverty. And first it was like the highest numbers in 10 years, and then it was 20 years, and then it was 50 years, and then finally it was the highest record unemployment rates for any demographic that you can measure. Right now, we have over 8% inflation. We have interest rates that are at about, on a 30-year mortgage, you're looking at about a 6%, 6.2% interest rate, where when Biden took office, it was about 3%. That, in and of itself, takes $40,000 of purchasing power away from a first-time home buyer. So instead of being able to purchase a $150,000 home, they are only able to purchase a $108,000 home. The cost to travel to get to work is breaking their bank. The cost of their groceries is more. And we have absolutely presented different options that we could use to start bringing this inflation down and continue to develop our domestic energy. Energy cost and high energy cost contributes dramatically to the inflation, and it impacts every single product that we purchase in our daily lives. So we have to focus on that. And again, we introduced 6 pieces of legislation in House Natural Resources to make sure that we expand the development of our resources, that we get the pipelines opened up, that we start permitting the different opportunities for the developers of these resources. And this administration is ignoring all of it.
Congressman, I want to ask you, we have a lot of small business owners on our show. We'll have one on this evening. One thing that's really impacting them right now is the worker shortage. And you see this administration giving all kinds of handouts, from the COVID relief to now free internet and so forth. There's not a lot of incentive for a lot of folks to get back into the workforce. What's the solution for that, as so many businesses are dealing with that worker shortage?
It's a real big problem. I've talked to people across the state of Montana. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about the small cafe or restaurant on the corner or the billing facility in Helena that has 60 job offerings open right now. So we've got unskilled labor, we've got skilled labor, we've got demands for everything. And what I'm starting to determine is that there was a lot of people that were at the upper end of the age scale, and they were nearing retirement, that once this COVID situation broke out and they were handed all this additional funding, they said, you know something? This is good enough. I'm going to go ahead and just take early retirement. And there was a lot of people that at the age of 62, 61, they just went ahead and cashed out.
Right.
And now we don't have the people that are coming to backfill that at this point in time. Montana has an unemployment rate, thanks to the incredible Republican governor that we have elected, Greg Gianforte. Our unemployment rate is under 3%. But we have all of these people, all these slots that we have not been able to backfill yet.
Right, and the wages are not keeping up with what's happening in inflation. But let me ask you this,
Wages
Congressman.
are down 2.6% on the year,
That's right.
Mercedes, based on the actual inflation.
Let me just jump in here real quick. Congress will hold hearings on the baby formula shortage. I think this has to be one of the biggest crises that we are facing, watching these mothers struggle with having to figure out a way to feed their babies. But this hearing is not happening until May 25th, which is in 2 weeks. So why is this taking so long, knowing that we have an urgent issue on our hands?
I don't know, except to tell you this. I watched this administration and the Democrats try and run this city, and quite frankly, they can't run a one-horse parade. We have had scheduling problems since the day I was sworn into office, and I could not run my businesses the way that the Democrats are running Congress right now. And for us to have that kind of a delay on something as important as baby formula, it's not like infants can have some kind of a substitute. Adults, okay, we may not like it, but we can change the kind of things that we consume in our diet, okay? We can struggle through. You cannot do that with infants. I have a grandchild that was just born within the last 30 days, and I've got major concerns. This is very personal to me about what in the world is going to happen with these formula supplies.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a major concern for so many people out there, and we just got to try to figure out a way. The way we did Operation Warp Speed, we need, I'm telling you, Operation Baby Formula. Congressman Matt Rosendale, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you all for having me on tonight.